Did you know that you could culture nuts and turn them into cream cheese or yogurt that will taste better than anything that you can find at the grocery store? And I'm talking about both the dairy section and the vegan section. We're going to be making 4th of July beet burgers. And I wanted to make some tzatziki sauce to go with the beet burgers because have you ever had like beet burgers and tzatziki sauce? It's so incredible. And so I'm making yogurt. This is still culturing. I'm culturing it in my Instant Pot over here. Yeah, it's already yogurt, but it's going to be even more tangy in a couple hours. I'm culturing it for about eight hours. And you can make a cultured cashew cream using the same process. You just use less water and you need to ferment it more because the probiotics can't move around in the solution, in the matrix of it as easily because it's thicker. So it needs longer to ferment to get that, that tanginess that you're looking for, to make it taste like cream cheese that you can put on a bagel or turn into cream cheese frosting or whatever you do with your cream cheese. I just made a Tweety pie with a cream cheese filling and it's so chef's kiss. I know that a lot of my recipes need to be made in advance, but that is what it takes to make real food using plant-based ingredients as opposed to making fake food using plant-based ingredients. For instance, this yogurt is totally legit. It is legit yogurt. So to make cashew yogurt, you first are going to make cashew milk by soaking your cashews overnight in water, and then you drain them, and you need a 1-to-1 ratio of water to cashews. Blend them until it is hot, like steaming, because you kind of want to cook the cashews a little bit. It helps it thicken. Let it cool to about 108 degrees and add your yogurt starter. And then ferment it for about 8 hours or until it's as tangy as you like. You're not actually going to ferment it for 24 hours, but that's the setting. You want the normal setting. So for our sides, we are going to be having green beans and fairy tale eggplant, both of which I got at the farmer's market just recently. So with the green beans, I trim them and then I dry them really well because I'm going to roast them, and you can't roast anything if they're moist because the moisture keeps the temperature down too low. So I dry them really well. I season them with salt and pepper and a little olive oil, and I'll be roasting them in an oven at 400 degrees for as long as it takes. Oh, that's a little garlic powder too. I decided that would be good as well. I don't like to put garlic in it, like fresh garlic, because it burns. So into the oven it goes, and now this is the eggplant. I salted it for a little bit before I'm pressing it into our flour sack cloth. That way it gets more moisture out, like the salt draws the moisture out. And then I'm just seasoning it with salt and pepper, and that too will go in the oven right next to the green beans. So there are a couple things that you need to do in advance. If you're going to be using black beans from scratch, you need to get that started. That takes about 45 minutes to 60 minutes if you soak your beans overnight. If you didn't soak them, it's going to take you about 55 minutes to 65 minutes. I'm not sure if you really need to soak them. But yeah, so save about an hour for black beans, unless you use canned beans, and that's perfectly fine. You will need 2 cans of beans. Well, and also you'll need to roast the beets, so you'll be roasting the beets for 40 minutes, and then peeling them, grating them, draining them, drying them out. I'm just telling you all the steps that you need to do ahead of time, so that just to kind of prepare your mind for it, so that it's not overwhelming. And of course, I like to put my stained beet rag out on the back porch for my husband to find when he comes home. Just keeps things interesting. You're also going to saute some onions with garlic, and then you might as well just bloom the spices in it as well. So you're going to saute all your spices and your herbs, and then deglaze it with your mature rice vinegar. And after you get those things done, then you could just put all the ingredients together, mush it up just like you would with hamburger, and turn them into beet patties. And after you have your beet patties, you're going to need to let them rest in the fridge for a couple of hours, or overnight. You could do this the night before. You could do this like 2 nights before if you want. Like, this whole thing can be done like 2 nights before. It's great if you have guests coming, because you can have pretty much everything done before. The tzatziki, the burgers, and then all you'd have to do is make whatever the sides you want, or you could just have your guests bring the sides. But you've done enough work, so just have your guests bring the sides. Making tzatziki with cashew yogurt is super easy. So I make a garlic paste by salting some garlic, and with the dull edge of the blade I just smash it. And then I get some herbs from the garden. I always use dill, and I always use mint. I had a little onion, so I'm putting that in there as well. And cucumber. So I like to peel the cucumber and take the seeds out, and then chop it real fine. And salt and pepper, and that's about it. It doesn't need olive oil or anything like that. It's perfect as it is.
Then it is work.
4th of July. Big Independence Day for us Americans, where we celebrate the day where we finally stuck it to King George. Although, for me, it serves as a day of great teenage memories. All day barbecues on the beach with the entire town. Stealing Bartles and James from the cooler. And then going off down the beach to go hang out in the palapa with the surfers and get stoned. These days are long gone. I'm okay with that. Mostly because I have changed. I've learned a few things about myself along the way. Now that I'm croning, first of all, weed makes me hallucinate and it's uncomfortable. In a paranoid way. It also makes me feel like I could read other people's thoughts. And that's really uncomfortable too, because the experience is kind of like being in the comments section of a Jordan Peterson video. Now I can admit things like, I hate fireworks. I absolutely hate fireworks. They are loud and they're jarring and they just make me anxious. I freaking hate Piccolo Pete's. I'm no longer willing to stand in a crowd, which is also really uncomfortable to me, watching a psychedelic reenactment of war, clenching my fist and digging my nails into the palms of my hand. It's just not something that I do anymore. I'd rather stay at home. It's the joy of getting older. You stop convincing yourself that you like things that you don't actually like, but you go along with it because you want to appear normal or relatable. And you just become more honest with yourself. It brings you deeper self-intimacy. It's possible to have a more intentional, joyous life instead of a life of self-torture. Of a hippie homemaker like me. If that's what sparks your joy. Thank you so much for spending 4th of July with me. It was very fun. And remember, if you got any value out of this video at all, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in a few days.